So I would say don't underestimate your possibilities. Don't underestimate the power that you have if you really want something. Um, and then that's it. If you don't underestimate, you can see that some things that you wouldn't imagine are possibilities. So go and try this, try that, connect this with this person. So just try. Within our sport, it's everywhere. It's a small community normally, so there's no many people working. There's not a big number of people working. So the competition between coaches, the chances of growing as a coach are bigger in gymnastics than in other sports. So take the advantage of that and inform yourself, get knowledge. Now with the internet, you can have knowledge from everywhere. So you can find like this chat we're having. I hope this helps someone with some knowledge of something. So go for it. You know what I mean? Like, don't underestimate yourself and try. Give it a try.
Welcome to World Gymnastics Coaches, podcast by Coach Emilio. In today's episode, we are proud to introduce Francisco Azra, an accomplished Brazilian coach and international sports professional. With over 15 years in gymnastics, Francisco has led athletes to success at national and international levels, serving as head coach at Exeter Gymnastics Club in England, personal coach for the British junior national team, and a dedicated mentor for high-performance programs in Brazil. His expertise goes beyond the gym. Francisco played a key role in the Paris 2024 Olympic Games as technical officials coordinator and field of play supervisor, and was part of the Rio 2016 Olympics operations team. Join us as we explore his journey from coaching elite athletes to managing world-class sporting events, and discover the passion, discipline, and vision that drive his work in gymnastics. Let's get started with the incredible story of Coach Francisco Azra.
Welcome to World Gymnastic Coaches. We are with a special guest from Brazil, Francisco Azra. Welcome.
Thank you very much for having me.
Perfect. I'm very glad you accept. I find you LinkedIn like a competition supervisor in the last Paris 2024.
Yeah, well, thank you very much. It was a great experience in my career. It would be nice to talk about it.
A coach who is doing this amazing role in this last Olympics, and also because I cannot imagine how much work you had in this last 2024.
It was a lot of work, but I didn't do it alone. So I had we were really lucky to be in a team that worked together and worked really well together. And we were part of, like, the team was made of people from all over the world. Everyone was from different countries, from different regions of the world. So it was really special.
So where are you now?
I'm back in Brazil. So after many years away from Brazil and working a lot, and then 24 was a very intense year professionally. So I decided to come home and spend some time at home, spend some time with my family, and recharge before the next challenges.
Perfect, Francisco. We have a lot to talk today. Later, probably we will ask you more about your last experience in Paris, also all your travel around the world, different places where you worked. So the first question is for provide us to all our audience in World Gymnastic Coaches is who you are.
So I'm Francisco Azra. I'm Brazilian. So I was born and raised in Brazil. And gymnastics has been the passion of my life since ever. So I did gymnastics myself when I was a child. So when I was 9 years old, I started doing gym in a very small club in my hometown, Belo Horizonte. And yeah, then I fell in love with it and never left. So I was a gymnast for about 10 years. Didn't reach like high level. I was more like a regional gymnast in my region in Brazil. But the passion was there. So after finishing as a gymnast, I was 17 and I decided to go to university, and I did sports science, which is like physical education in Brazil. That's how we call it. And the dream was to keep involved with gymnastics somehow, so I decided to be a coach. And then I started coaching at the university. So the university had a club, which is a extension project from the university, which is a federal university. So it's a way that all the efforts within the university can go back to society. And it was an amazing, great experience. Was definitely where I built the foundations to my whole career, and learned a lot. Coached there for a few years. And then while I was there, I had the great opportunity to go and do my first FIG course, which opened my mind and broadened my horizons within the gymnastics community and gymnastics coaching and everything more professional, I would say this way. And then I left this smaller club to one of the biggest clubs in Brazil, which is Minas Tênis Clube. It's still in my hometown, in Belo Horizonte. And then I coached there for a few years. While I was there, I finished my FIG courses. So I did level 2 and level 3. And then I also did a post-graduation in high-level sports within our Brazilian Olympic Committee in an effort that they were doing to provide more knowledge for the coaches on the leading up to Rio 2016, which was another great experience. That over there I had the opportunity to be in touch with the biggest coaches in Brazil at the time, and to people that were actually managing the sport in the country. So it was amazing, a really good experience. After that, I went to the UK. So it was a fortunate situation where I was on the right place on the right time, and they needed someone with exactly my profile. So they invited me to move over there and coach. So I started coaching in a club in Southwest England called Exeter Gym Club, and also at the British national team, the junior British national team. We can talk more about that, but I was a personal coach of one of the gymnasts within the British team. And then I spent 7 years there working in this club, working as a personal coach for the British national team and also the English national team. And within the club, then I became head coach. And so I worked there up until 2023. And then 24, Harris arrived, the opportunity came. So I decided I will get this. I won't let this pass. And it was one of the best decisions I made.
Perfect. So we have different phases of the youth, different timings of Francisco in the university, in the studies, in the UK, and in this like a club, representing a club and arriving in a stages of high performance and later in the Olympics. So you have a one thing in common. It's like you follow your dreams, you travel in other countries, but always in different places of gymnastics.
Yeah, that's something that I've always had in my mind is I will work a lot to be the best I can, and I will take the opportunities that come my way. So I always try to find ways to better myself. Every gymnastics course that was available and was in my reach, I would go and I would do, and I would study, and I would try to meet people that knew more than me and had more experience. So I think it's a natural line of things, line of events. If you chase your dreams, they will realize, they will come true. So yeah, I'm really fortunate, really lucky to have had the opportunities I had, and to have the means to actually go and chase them.
Perfect. So in this point, you have the opportunity to learn from another coaches in FIG Academy, for example. If you can explain more about this experience.
Well, I was quite young when I did my first course. It was 2010. I was already coaching nationally in Brazil with gymnasts going to national competitions, but I didn't have much experience. And then out of the blue, I was there, surrounded by coaches from all over the world, and being taught by Takashi Kobayashi was the expert when I did those courses. And he was the best coach in the world at the time. So it was amazing, amazing. Like the possibility of getting in touch to someone that in my mind was untouchable was really good for myself. Like I can do stuff, you know what I mean? I can achieve things as well. And I've learned so much, especially uh, obviously the technical part of gymnastics. We're eager to learn technical, like little details, what to do for this skill or that skill. But what always impressed me was how coaches organize themselves around their culture, around balancing personal life and professional life, and building the surroundings so their work can be done. And so I bombarded the coaches there with a lot of questions, and I got a lot out of it. So it was a very important experience and situation in my life.
So also important mention is the coach was the coach of Hiroaki Sato and Ushimura.
Yeah, well, I watched Hiro's chat that you had with him not long ago. He just posted, and it was really nice. It was really heartwarming to listen to Hiro talking about Kobayashi, and because I got to meet him, but it was on a specific situation on a course, and it wasn't real life. So listening to someone that actually dealt with him in real life and seeing how much his values and his culture, his approach impacted someone that now is the head coach of the Japanese national team is amazing. It was really good to see like another side of that person that inspired me when I was young. So it was nice.
So we will send greetings to Coach Hiro also because was in this podcast. Was a honor for us, and it's incredible how all the dads meet each other. All these points of different gymnastics around the world, and we start to hear this name about this coach from Japan.
So I did Academy 1 and 2 in Portugal. Academy 3 I did in Chile.
In Santiago. You mean my city. Great.
It was really good. It was really nice. And I didn't speak Spanish at the time. As Brazilian, we like to think that we can speak Spanish a little bit, but we can't. So I went there and then I realized.
Portuñol. A little bit Portuñol.
At the course, you have like a 15-minute presentation to do, and it's a very dense and you have to talk about all the aspects of gymnastics and coaching and biology and everything. And I realized I had to do that in Spanish. So I said, oh my God. But then as I always do, I focused, and I was pretty much 24/7 for 1 week, just listening to Spanish people talking and trying to connect with everyone, trying to get the most words I could. And then it was good. It was successful. I did a course and I passed, and it was good. Yeah, we went there. It was summertime, so we didn't see any snow at the time, unfortunately. But I really liked the country. Really liked like the city. Santiago is a beautiful city and has a really good structure. So it was nice. We found a few breaks to explore, to go around, and it is a place I want to go back at some point.
So Francisco, how many languages do you speak?
Portuguese is my mother language. Then I speak English. Now I proudly can say that I speak Spanish as well. And my experience in Paris gave me a really basic French. So I can't say I'm fluent in French, but I can survive. I can work and go around it.
You know, I want to make you a question I never did before in the podcast. How was complicated for you explain different words, gymnastics, specific detailed words in gymnastics, and you find different ways to say in different cultures? Because when you say lie out, for example, or when you explain any single detail to a gymnast in Argentina, in Chile, in Brazil, in Costa Rica, no, it's not the same word, estrela, cartwheel, and also I can imagine Portugal and Brazil. Did you see these differences when you teach gymnastics?
Yes, a lot. As gymnastics coaches, we have something in our favor, which is the more you have different coaches, the code is one. So it's easy to find your common ground. But then when you're dealing with people on a daily basis, it can be very tricky, very difficult. So for example, when I moved to the UK, all the English that I knew was from the USA. So when I was a teenager, I did like one of those internships, like high school internships to the US. So my English was an American English, and all the words and all the expressions I knew was in American English. And then I started dealing with children at this gym. So I moved there to coach this junior gymnast, but as well a group of gymnasts, and they were different ages. And children, in my opinion, are the best to teach you languages because they have no filter and they will correct you straight away, and they will not understand if you say something a little bit different from what they used to. So I learned loads from them. And then I think with time, you start getting used to the terms and to things. I think the most difficult thing is actually expressing your thoughts, not specifically the words, because the words, you learn the translation and that's it, you learn a new word. But then how to get your thoughts, your emotions, how to get an idea that in your home country you have a common say that will explain everything, and then on a different country, different language, you don't have this. So it takes time to actually get into the culture and understand the concepts so you can use it on your everyday life. Because languages are not about words. Languages are about the whole society, how it organizes itself and how the relations are. So then it takes time, but it's possible.
What's feel be a coach abroad, be outside your country and see a different culture? It's for everyone, or not everyone is prepared for living in another country and work in this career?
I don't know. I don't know how to answer this, if it's for everyone or not. What I can say is it's challenging. It demands will. It demands persistence, and you really need to want this to make it work. Because so in my situation, I moved to a country where I didn't know anyone. So I had no one around me that knew me. The city I moved to it's not a big city. It's like considered a small city in the UK. It's a city, not a town, but it's still small. So when I moved there was absolutely no Brazilians. So for nearly 2 years, I was the only Brazilian. Later on, I found out there was two more, but we didn't know each other. And then so I was really immersed in a society that didn't speak my language, didn't have my same cultural background, or you know what I mean? So you have to adapt, and it can be really challenging. You can feel lonely at times, and then there's the stress of the work, and you're an outsider, so you have to make your way in. So when I left Brazil, I had already established position within the club. Like everyone in other clubs knew me. I knew a lot of people, and when I moved there, I knew no one. No one knew me. I had to make my way up within the country and the culture. What helped a lot is that British people, they're really, really welcoming. I didn't have this image of British people before moving there. I thought they were really cold and distant, but they are amazing. And then they made my life easier, making me feel welcome and open doors, and not physical doors, but open to opportunities and helping me to achieve things I wanted to achieve. But yeah, it's challenging, but it's worth it. If I could go back in time, I would do exactly the same thing again. I think it only brought great things to my professional life, to my personal life. It literally opened my eyes to the world differently than opening my eyes only in the country. So being on your own country is good. You have your roots, but then when you open your eyes to the world, there's plenty more possibilities. So it was great.
What is the more strongest profile of Francisco to teach gymnastics? In English, in Portuguese, in Spanish? Where you feel more comfy?
You mean as a coach? Or
yeah, teaching gymnastics.
To be honest with you, I don't know, because I coached in Brazil many years before moving to the UK, but then the experience there was really intense, and I got used to coach in English. So I've obviously throughout those years I visited Brazil, and I visited the club I used to work here, and I saw the gymnasts. And every time I went to the gym here and in Brazil and talked to them, the English words come to my mind, the English way of talking things. So it's a bit weird. So I don't know. I think I'm really adaptable. So I think with time, give me 2 months and I'm adapted again, and I'll coach anywhere. But at the moment, my last experience coaching was in English, so I think English would be the most comfortable at the moment.
Probably you start mixing because of the word you mentioned is adapt, how you adapt to teaching gymnastics.
I think one of the great things that you can have is being adaptable, being flexible, being able to understand and read the room and know your actions, where you are, what's possible, what's not possible, how to act on this, on that, and understanding people's needs and coaches and act on them. Not really, if you focus on yourself and you are too strict to yourself and your rules, you miss the time. You know what I mean? You miss the opportunity to actually make a difference where you are.
The next question I will ask you is about your role experience in the last Olympic Games. If you can mention about this amazing experience.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I don't think we would have time if I would say everything. It was probably the most intense 7 months of my life, and it was great. It was amazing. So I did the whole selection process with the interviews and everything that you would imagine that for a role like that you have to go through. And then I got the news that I was approved, and best day of my life so far. It was amazing. And then I moved to Paris, found an apartment, and it was like starting again, a different country, and not speaking the language. So it was another barrier. Well, anyway, but then first day of work, first day with the team, I knew that would be great. So the team, we were 20 people working within the gymnastics team, and we were from all over the world. We had some Canadians, we had some Portuguese people, we had another Brazilian as well, so I wasn't the only one. There was another Brazilian called Sandro, who lives in Paris for many years, but then he was within us in the team. We had a friend from Senegal. We had 2 people from Germany. Am I forgetting anyone? Obviously, a few French people who were there. So there was a lot of people from there, some locals. And there was as well a friend from Estonia. Oh my God, I don't want to forget anyone. And a friend from Luxembourg. So it was a very diverse team from different backgrounds. Some people were experts in trampoline, some people in artistic, some people in rhythmics. And it was amazing. So we got together, and our main goal was delivering the best organized ever Olympic Games. And we did everything we could, and we did. So it was great at the end that our people from FIG that were working with us, that we worked really close with FIG, making sure all the regulations and everything was correct and everything would work the way it should. And then they came back to us at the end with an amazing feedback, saying that this team and this work was so far the best organized Olympic Games they witnessed. So it was really good. So my role specifically was I was the supervisor of the field of play, which is the competition gym. My responsibility was making sure that all the stakeholders, so all the people that were working around us, we were the sports team. So we had the medical staff, we had logistics, we had the TV, we had a lot of different groups of people working around the sport. And then at the delivery, my role was making sure that everything was happening how it should, on the right time, and people were coming in and out at the gym, coming in and out in the gym and out of the gym on the right place and on the right time. Only the correct people are allowed to be there, making sure that the times were going okay. And then like all the little aspects that the competition needs to flow well in the competition gym, I was the responsible. But then, as I told you, we were a team that worked really close. So it was amazing to see how we were able to interact on our different roles and make sure everyone was working well. So at the same time that I was there focusing on the competition gym, I was in the radio talking to one of our colleagues dealing with the warm-up gym and talking to our colleagues that were on the head table overlooking the competition. And this feedback and this team effort was what actually made everything work well.
I remember one thing told me Flavio Bessi in Germany. He told me about one organizer of an important brand of cars in Germany. And this guy was organizer of event, huge one. And he drink a coffee with Flavio. And Flavio asked him, but you are the organizer of this. Why, how you drinking a coffee with me? And he say, yes, I'm doing my job and I prepare before. So for this reason, I can't drink a coffee with you because I need to have my brain fresh to decide. So when I hear you, and I remember now the two international events we organized in Dubai for the coaches, I didn't have time for drink a coffee. I'm running
Yeah.
everywhere. We miss a pen. We need to do the certificate. We need to post. We need to sell the. I cannot imagine how it was for you this in Paris.
This is why. So I moved to Paris effectively in April, and the competition was only in August. So we had all those months to go through the whole preparation. One philosophy that we had as a team was we will prepare everything. So at the time, at games time, when the competition is going on, we have our main job is to watch and see everything happening the way we planned and act only when there was a mistake or there was something not planned. So I understand that he had some time to have coffee, but we didn't either. We would have little breaks, but even having everything organized, the Olympic Games is the biggest sport event in the whole world, and gymnastics is one of the most watched events within the Olympic Games. So there was a lot on stake there. So we had to be focused and paying attention to every single detail all the time. Even though some of the days, some of the competition days, I pretty much just overlooked everything and just checked, right? Are you okay? Are you not okay? Is this working? Is this not working? But other days we had a lot of things like that we couldn't have planned for. So then we had to act and work. And so this whole preparation was amazing. Taught me a lot about how to prepare, how to plan, and some of the lessons I got there, I'm bringing to my own life, not just to organizing events, to organizing myself, to organizing my schedule, to imagining my year. How can I prepare myself for this, and that scenario? So yeah, it was a life-changing experience, I can say.
This episode is brought to you by Sur Studio, the trusted partner for athletes, coaches, and club owners ready to elevate their online presence. Whether you're an athlete building your personal brand, a coach showcasing your programs, or a club owner promoting your team, Sur Studio creates sleek, modern websites that tell your story and connect with your audience. From highlighting achievements to engaging fans and recruits, we design websites that are as dynamic as your career. Ready to stand out? Visit surstudio.framer.website and let's bring your vision to life. Remember surstudio.framer.website. Your success deserves a website that matches your ambition. That's Sur Studio.
Because I can feel this professionalism when you need to communicate with people around for provide excellence.
Yeah, one thing that on the build up that I thought was genius and was amazing was we had at least once a week in one of our meetings, we would imagine chaotic scenarios. So we would imagine something going really wrong, and then we would test our team on what to do on that situation. And that was amazing. None of those situations happened, thankfully. But then it was good to know that we were able to sort any problem that would come our way. And that how it was. So situations that we imagined didn't happen. Some that we didn't imagine happened. But we had the tools and we had especially the connection between us to find solutions to all the things that happened. So it was good. I'm speaking and I'm trying to listen to myself as I speak, and I might sound like a lot of things went wrong, but it didn't. We didn't have a lot of things wrong. Obviously, on an event, some things happened, but it wasn't It wasn't that much, and we did well. It was good. Yeah. So in the arena, was Bercy Arena, and the people working at the arena on a competition day, the number of people was around 2,000 people. So we were obviously from different sectors, different areas, but we were like 2,000 people working for an event of some of the days, like 30 gymnasts competing and 2,000 people working around them. So yeah.
Wow, it's incredible.
We had little breaks, obviously, but some days we wouldn't have lunch. Some days it would be so quick that we have to rush for lunch and come back. So it was intense, very intense.
Yeah, I'm very glad to hear your story, Francisco, about this. I want to ask you something else. If you can mention to us what was the peak of your experience in this Olympics, what was the best memory you have in this role?
Wow. I think at the end, so for me, it was a mix of a lot of things, a lot of experiences. Having the success that the Brazilian gymnasts had obviously touched my heart in a way that I couldn't imagine. Seeing the Brazilian flag going up and Brazilian anthem. We Brazilians, we love our country, and I think at least every Brazilian I know outside of Brazil is known for someone that is really patriotic. Like, we love our country, we love our culture, we love our people, and seeing someone representing our culture and our way of living so well as the Brazilian gymnasts did, especially Rebecca, it's very touching. So it was amazing. So this last day, I was already emotional and touched by this feeling of finishing, seeing Brazilian flag going up. But then right at the end, we got the team together, and then I had a really, really good friend, like close friend, that we worked really together on this. He was the deputy manager for gymnastics. His name is Denis. He's from Canada. And then I remember when the competition closed, we ended, the whole team, we got together, and then I hugged Denis, he hugged me, and we said to each other, we did it. Like, we did it. And that I can't explain that emotion of looking back and seeing like that my whole life watching the Olympic Games and being inspired by it and passing it on, those values of the Olympic values, to my athletes. So many years of gymnastics and Olympics, like the dream of the Olympics, and having the opportunity to say to someone that I delivered the Olympic Games, there's no money that can buy this. So it was very special. Yeah.
Wow, incredible. Incredible what's going on now with Brazil also, with your country in gymnastics. It's something like a South American coaches we're looking for many years ago. So many great coaches provide a lot of experience there in Brazil. And now you can see the results.
Yeah. Brazil is definitely on a great position, on a great sport. I especially knowing like our Brazilian culture, having someone who is an idol like Rebecca is at the moment. We have had throughout the years idols within the sport, and in Brazil, those athletes that have good results, they become really famous in the country. Yeah, so there's loads of athletes that came by and left their marks, and that guided the country to reach higher and higher and higher up until you have an Olympic champion. Obviously, we had Zanetti as Olympic champion in the rings before as well. So having an idol like that can drive the population towards this sport. And this is a great moment, in my view, for the Brazilian gymnastics community. And I can only see the sport growing in results and growing in number of people competing. One thing that I can see at the moment that will make a big difference in the future, I imagine, and I can predict that, I think, is I've lived in different countries and I've seen gymnastics in different countries. And I think there are a few factors that can provide the country with good possibility of success. And one of those factors is having a big number of people practicing the sport. And so this movement of having someone that inspire a nation can bring people into the sport. But another thing that I can see a shift now is gymnastics in Brazil is finally becoming a business. It's finally becoming something that people can rely on to make their livings. So there are private gyms that are starting to grow and work in different states in the country. This, maybe 15 years ago, 10, 15 years ago, was not a big possibility because it's a very expensive sport. It's very difficult to have all the equipment and people to actually coach. But now, in my county, my state, Minas Gerais, there are a few clubs that are starting in different regions. There's one called Bravo in a different region within our state. There are a few in the capital that are growing, like the CT Amigos do Esporte, there's Fluari Gymnastics. So there are different gyms that are starting, and seeing gymnastics being a business open possibilities for more gyms to start and more people to get into the sport and more talent to be found. So this is a great shift that I imagine, and I predict that in the future more and more private gyms will provide more gymnasts to the system. And also now, more like a general gymnastics point of view, Brazil is bringing now the Rhythmics Gymnastics World Championships this year. I think that would be a great push to the country within the gymnastics community in the world. I think it's the first time in South America there is a world championship, so it will be really good. And Brazilian Federation now is under new management. So the new president was just elected, and he is a young person. He's someone that has a lot of energy and ambition to grow the sport. So I think Brazil is on a way up, definitely.
Yeah, you mentioned something also Sensei Hiroaki said on the last podcast about the number of the community. A lot of people doing the sport, more probability to find another athlete, a great athlete. Also, the recreational scheme can provide resources to the high performance, because high performance is very expensive. I want to hear you, Francisco. Also, I need to make a point about the coaches, because like a Chilean coach, I said Brazil, and immediately in my mind, I can hear Francisco Porat, Irina Liashenko, Goto Marcos, Renata Valente, Angelo Sabino, Antunes, so when Valmy Jr. So for me, it's very important to mention these names. Why? Because it's a movement. It's a lot of people provide from the coaching point, like the artistic gymnastic coach provide their life to this sport, and later you see the results. For example, Francisco Porat. What do you think about this profile of the Brazilian gymnastic coaches?
Well, I can see, so Brazil in the past, as a country, used to rely on foreigner countries that were brought into the country. So Brazil didn't have that big of a culture of gymnastics. Gymnastics is big in Brazil for a long, long time, but didn't have the results, didn't have that impact that it has today. So they used to bring foreigner coaches, like with really good experience abroad, to come and coach. And what I can see is, and it was what I think is the turning point for the success of the coaches, was the Brazilian coaches that were here at the time when those international coaches were here started to gather information and knowledge and experience from them. And at some point, Brazilian coaches were able to coach gymnasts to a level that in the past you would need foreign knowledge. So now I see that Brazilian coaches have all the knowledge and possibilities to work and to do to create the results that Brazil deserves, and with a plus that again, as very patriotic of myself, I think we Brazilian people, we are very, very hard workers. So we will work hard. We will dedicate our life to what we want. This is why that there are a lot of Brazilian coaches outside of Brazil at the moment, and and having great success, because we are different on that point. We work a lot. We're used to the idea that we can do more, we can push more, we can provide our life to something. So this, combined with the knowledge and experience that the Brazilian coaches have gathered throughout those past 30 years, brings us to where we are now, where we have amazing coaches in Brazil, both on the men's and on the women's side. It's unfortunate that the men's side didn't have that many results on this past cycle, but I really hope that both teams qualify to 28, and I believe they will. I believe like people will now organize themselves and work towards those goals with everything they have. But then having the experience that they gather together with the Brazilian way of working and dedicating themselves, Brazil has everything. So it's good.
Francisco, we talk about your role in Paris. We talk about the Brazilian gymnastic culture and their incredible position they are now in the world, about export, great coaches and athletes. But now I'm more interested about your coaching philosophy, because you are a mix between Meg and WOG. So I want to know, what is very important for you when you teach gymnastics, when you deliver gymnastics, when you provide your best to your athletes? What is your coaching philosophy?
I have two main things that I always keep in mind when I'm coaching. One is there's no recipe. So you can find a way. You know what I mean? Like there's no right way of teaching a skill. There's no you should have the flexibility and the freedom to create and find a way to guide your gymnast to achieve your goals. So I don't like the idea of being stuck on do this or do that. You know what I mean? Mixing points and mixing things and knowledges are key. So that's how I build up myself as a coach, getting knowledge from people that were working with girls, people that were working with boys, the university background as well. So like all the theory behind it. And then I was open enough to try and experiment and try to find ways. So I think one point is this: there's no recipe. Find a way of doing things. And the other thing is connection. I think if you're able to understand the people that you're working with, then you can achieve great things. If you're stuck on your vision and do not let other people build your vision with you or build the vision of that team, you won't achieve anything. So when I was still coaching in Brazil, my way of dealing with the gymnasts was according to the reality that we had. When I moved to the UK, that same way wouldn't work there, because it was a different culture, a different way of thinking this sport. So you have to let people in so you can actually build together. So I would say flexibility, find a way, and togetherness. Let people interfere. Don't ever think that you know everything, that your way is the way. So that's it.
You need to provide me your hero or heroine, a woman or man, who inspire you, a coach in the world. You can say, this person inspired me to be a coach. Who is this person?
There were many coaches that had big impact in my upbringing or in my way of becoming a coach. Each one of them on a different way. So I don't think I can select one coach to be my hero. I don't think I wouldn't make justice to different people that actually inspired me throughout my career. There is a coach which is not a high-level coach, but he taught me a lot about persistence. So I can, with eyes closed, say that this person has a big responsibility and influence on what I became as a coach, because this philosophy I said on finding a way, for me, it's a lot about resilience. You will try again, and you will try again, and you will try again, and you find a way. You think and you rethink and you try different combinations. And this person is called Marcio. He's a coach that coached at the university where I studied here. And anyway, so he was a big inspiration on that side of things, on like, you have to try again. Don't ever quit. And I've never quit in anything in my life. And those values that I got from him, I bring up, and I'll keep forever with me. There were other coaches with more technical approach. So Antonio from Minas got me like the physical preparation side of things, more knowledge on this, and I was able to get his knowledge on physical preparation and get my background within the university and put it together, and that made a big difference. Then in the UK, there are many coaches that I look up to. So Poho, I think Poho is amazing on getting the team together in one view. Baz, which is the national coach at the moment, it's amazing on bringing the best out of everyone. So he has an amazing ability of making the gymnasts feel well at the gym and creating an atmosphere that the skills start happening like magic, something that is his magic, and it's really inspiring. I don't know. I feel like I won't make justice to some people that passed in my life. There's Mike. Mike is the owner of the club I used to work in the UK, and his love for gymnastics and love for the person. He's a coach that would coach anyone doing any skill. It doesn't matter if it's just a cartwheel or just a forward roll. He would use the same effort to teach this person or teaching someone doing a coverage. And that taught me a lot, because there are some days where your gymnast is not able to perform on their best, but then you have to be there with the same passion, with the same effort. So there's loads of people, and I can't have one hero as a coach. I think having the ability of understanding that different people can give you different insights, and if you use it all, you can be your best version. It's smart.
I ask the advices for athletes and coaches.
What I would say is, do not underestimate your possibilities. Gymnastics is a sport where it's very common everywhere that you have a group of coaches, which is considered, or group of coaches or gymnasts or even clubs, which are considered the elite of this country or the elite of that country. And it's normally a bubble that is very difficult to break into. It's very difficult to get into that community, which is, and I get why, because these people are sharing a very difficult lifestyle, and it's tough. So people get together. And then that makes young coaches that are coming up think that this is unachievable, or this is too difficult, or this is too much. So I would say, don't underestimate your possibilities. Don't underestimate the power that you have if you really want something. And then that's it. If you don't underestimate, you can see that some things that you wouldn't imagine are possibilities. So go and try this, try that, connect this with this person. So just try. Within our sport, it's everywhere. It's a small community normally, so there's no many people working. There's not a big number of people working. So the competition between coaches, the chances of growing as a coach are bigger in gymnastics than in other sports. So take the advantage of that and inform yourself, get knowledge. Now with the internet, you can have knowledge from everywhere. So you can find like this chat we're having. I hope this helps someone with some knowledge of something. So go for it. You know what I mean? Like, don't underestimate yourself and try. Give it a try. Keep going, keep trying, keep pushing. Consistency will take you where you want to go.
Francisco can travel in the time machine and going back to Francisco when he will start to get this job in Paris 2024. What advice you can provide to him?
Get organized. I think being organized, to be able to organize an event, you have to be organized yourself. So creating habits of like the discipline of cataloging information, writing down everything, making lists. So for this type of job, having the idea and having the information on the back of your mind is very important. So when you organize yourself, you're halfway there. And the other thing I would say to myself is do exactly what you did, like with a passion that you did. So I felt like Paris 24 was a job that I didn't feel I was working at all. So it was amazing. It was pretty much every day was a new day of challenges that I could achieve. So it was, and surrounded by people that made everything really light. So it was very intense, but a light work. So I would say that get organized is the main thing. Get plans, make your plans, make your lists, write down everything that comes to your mind, because that information might be useful at some point. And be light, be I don't know, happy in the environments you are.
I'm very glad to have this conversation with you. Also, I want to tell you thank you because I learned a lot from you. Hear you is something, it's a pleasure because also I can see the other side of a position the coaches sometimes and the judges sometimes don't see. Part also is very important to run a competition or be part of gymnastics. So I want to tell you thank you for sharing your experience, your background, your history. Also, I want to mention the podcast, World Gymnastics Coaches. You can find this episode in LinkedIn, in Spotify, Apple Podcast, and Instagram, and also in the profile of Francisco. If we want to hear from you, Francisco, where we can find you?
LinkedIn. My LinkedIn is Francisco Azra, which is pretty much my name and my surname. And yeah, so I have my Instagram, obviously, but it's more personal. I don't post much of work there. But yeah, it's my name as well, Francisco Azra. And yeah, LinkedIn is the main thing.
Perfect. So there is where they can find you. Probably one proposal, we don't know, but they can find you there.
New challenges for the next years are welcome.
Perfect. Francisco, obrigado. Thank you so much. And see you the next time in the podcast.
Thank you, Emilio.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to World Gymnastics Coaches. Don't forget to follow us on all our platforms, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn like Escuela del Sur, and remember, you can find all our episodes at www.coachemilio.com. Thank you, gymnastics community. See you next time. Vamos arriba!